Hello and welcome back to episode 7 of the Alex and Steiner show. I'm joined again by Steiner. Checking out your teeth.
How's it going?
Got in the act. Okay, so I was telling you beforehand. I gotta open at the show with this one because it's a doozy. I need to get the audience captivated. So this morning I had a good morning, like a really good morning, because we just drove like 16 hours back from Wisconsin, and I got up, slow start. My ears were fucking pounding because I get bad ear infections, so I had an ear infection. And dealt with that. And then I went outside and I was doing my online lifeguard certification because I'm doing that. And my parents decided to go to Costco. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll just stay back and do this. And it was honestly just a really chill time until like 1 o'clock and they got back. And they got back and they brought back Costco pizza. So, of course, I went upstairs, had a munch, had a couple slices. And my brother comes up to me and he's like, hey, what kind of soda did you want? And I was like, oh, no soda. I'm fine. I'll probably just have water. And then they were like, oh, was there any specific kind you wanted? And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'll probably just have water. And they were like, okay. And they had this bottle and they set it down. And Ethan was like, oh, yeah, we put Pepsi in there. And I was like, okay, I might have a sip. And then I finished my pizza and then I went over, grabbed it, and I took a sip. And can you guess what fluid was inside the cup, Steiner?
Can I get a pee?
It was piss. I drank a full sip of piss and swallowed.
Oh, shit.
So there's Riley's piss still in me right now. It's so fucked. And I drank it and I was like, what the fuck? Because it was like, it felt like a mix between like salt, warm water, and like mucus. And it was just disgusting. And
my God.
I was like, what the fuck? And then Riley just like sprinted away.
You should have just killed his ass.
Yeah, my mom was like, what was that? And I was like, dude, he fucking pissed in the bottle. and then my mom immediately took away his computer and phone. And then I was so angry and he was still smiling. I was like, dude, I'll knock your fucking ass out. It's not his first time pissing in a bottle too, because it's happened before. He like in his room playing video games, he'll like sit up there and he's really far away from the bathroom because he's upstairs and the nearest bathroom to him is down a flight of stairs and then walk a little bit and then there's a bathroom. And of course he's like a little gamer playing Rust and he's like, I can't get up from my fucking game. So then he has his his can of Coke. What does he do with this can of Coke while he's playing the video game? Pisses in it. And then guess what happens? So like a few weeks ago, Ethan goes up there to wake Riley up, sees the can of Coke, feels that it's full, takes a sip, it's piss. Ethan's drinking Riley's piss. And Ethan was not happy. And at the time,
I remember that. I was
yeah. And then I was like, at the time, I was like, dude, you're really overreacting. It's just some piss. Calm down. And he was like really mad. And I was like, okay, what? And now I understand. I'm like, yeah, honestly, if drinking piss like sets you off. I was so angry and I was angry for like a few hours. I'd like just cool down. And then also another time is like we were going home from Wisconsin and actually it was another time with my dad. Riley pissed in another cup. My dad drank it. So my dad's up on the tally. So it's me, my dad, and my brother. That's all drinking Riley's piss. And then another time on the way home from Wisconsin yesterday, Riley pisses in a can. And it's before one of the rest stops. And I'm like, okay, dude, just go throw it out. Don't forget to throw it out. Because then, of course, someone's going to not remember that it's fucking piss. And then he was like, he didn't really pay attention because he was watching movies the entire time. And I got out and I was like, reminded him again. I was like, throw away that can because somebody's going to drink your piss. Guess what he does? Doesn't throw away the fucking can. Guess what happens? My mom drinks it. So now 4 people have drinking Riley's piss. It's like a fucking epidemic. And now my only way to get him back is I'm just going to fucking I just got to start making him drink my piss. Like, I would like, I had an idea because Arizona looks like piss. I'm gonna fucking piss in an Arizona bottle and give it to him, and then have him drink it. And I'll be like he'll drink it. I'll be like, yeah, another one's coming, buddy. And like I'm just gonna rapid fire hit him with fucking more piss because every time someone drinks his piss, he thinks it's a joke, and it just like at first I was like, why are you guys getting so upset about it? And now I realize drinking piss is just not fun.
I want to know your dad's reaction.
Dude, my dad actually was pretty chill about it. It was me and Ethan were the ones that just got super angry. Yeah, my dad's drinking piss before because Ethan one time did it when we were going skiing. So he's just like, I've never drinking piss before. And I did it. I wanted it to stay that way because nobody should drink piss. But oh my God, I'm getting worked up about it now because it's outrageous. It's just this kid fucking pisses in bottles all the time and he thinks it's a joke.
Oh, well, I have to say, I have the V card on me, pissing and drinking piss from a bottle.
Dude, I'd love to be a virgin from drinking piss, but of course, my virginity was taken today.
Oh,
it's so bad because you're just like, it's really alarming because you take a drink expecting it to be like Coke, and at first I thought it was water, and then it was like it just like the flavor just fucking hit me, and I was like shit, and I fucking by then I'd already taken a full gulp, so then it's not like I could have spat it out. I literally took a full fucking gulp of his fucking piss. So bad.
Oh my God, that sounds actually horrific.
It's so bad. And he doesn't really give a shit because you can't expect that from like he's gonna be a freshman in high school and he still acts like an actual middle schooler.
Yeah, I actually have no clue your brother's even in high school. Like, it shocks me that I literally thought this year when I saw him, I was like, this kid's gonna be in 7th grade almost, and I'm like, oh no, wait a minute, he's almost in high school. Jesus Christ.
The most shocking thing is next week he starts his driving course.
What?
He's gonna be he's gonna get his learner's permit October 10th or 11th, whichever one's his birthday. He's literally gonna be on the fucking road.
This is what pisses me off. He's gonna have a license only 6 weeks or 6 months after I do.
Well, you got it so fucking late. Why'd you take so long?
That would be because no one would let me take it online. Everyone was like, you need to take it in person. And then the COVID thing. They were like, my dad was like, I guarantee that they're going to not make you wait the whole year. Guess what fucking happens? They're still making you wait the whole goddamn year.
That's weird. I thought I heard something about it being only like 6 months or something.
That's what I heard, but the DMV said otherwise. So
that's weird. Like, dude, I remember when I was getting my permit from the DMV, and then like the bitches there are just some other type of fucking like assholes. Like, there's this fat black lady working there, and then I went up to her. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm here to get my permit," and she was like, "Oh, have you taken the test yet?" And I was like, "Yeah, the online one." She was like, "Have you taken the in-person one?" And I was like, no, I didn't know there was one. And she was like, "You got to take the test. Here, come over here, hon. I'll take you to the computer." And then she took me over to the computer. I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this. I already took the fucking online test. Why do I have to do it in person? She was like, you have to do it in person. Don't give me that lip. And then she was like, you can have this pamphlet if you want to study a little bit. And I was like, what? And I was just so fucking bamboozled. And I was just like, and by this point, my mind was just boggled. And I just walked over to the computer, took the test, fucking failed it. And then she was like, well, you get one more try and then you have to wait a couple days and then you have to wait 48 hours and then come back here. And the problem with waiting 48 hours is it was the middle of the pandemic, so I couldn't and I was I was doing the test in Glenwood and we were still living in Evergreen back in the time, so it was like a 3-hour drive back. So it's like I was caught between a rock and a hard place because I would have had to stay at the hotel like another 2 nights, or I would have had to pass it. So the stakes were high. And by this point, I was like super stressing. And I was like, my mom was trying to get me to go over shit. And I was like, dude, I'm just going to go take it again. And I took it again. And then I like managed to barely scrape by. And the lady was like, well, you fucking passed. And I was like, what? And she was just being a complete asshole the entire time. And all the people there, like there was this one guy that I thought was chill. and then he was getting my thing printed, and he was like, "Look at the camera." I was like, "You guys have no joy at all. You guys are the biggest dickheads."
I know it is the worst. Like I honestly think that like all a permit is just a fucking card saying like don't drive the car off a cliff with your parent in the car.
Yeah, it's not like having the parent in the car. Like I think like by now it's been for me. I get my permit in like 2 months, and like I can drive on my own perfectly fine. And I haven't, but I know I could.
With me, like if I'm gonna be real honest here, I've probably already put my 35, 40 hours in.
Yeah.
And I've probably done about a half an hour illegally.
Really?
I'll have to tell you. Okay. I gotta tell you this story, though. The Wisconsin story. I gotta start it from the beginning.
Okay, let's hear it.
So the kid you saw a little bit ago named Casey Steiner was
yeah.
He was supposed to go to Wisconsin with me because of family reasons, I guess. Not really. Someone said that he wanted to go, and my mom was like, "Yeah, Casey can come." And well, we bought him a ticket and everything, and the last minute he decides to say, "No, I don't really want to go now." 20 hours of when the plane takes off.
Yeah, and you had to go. You had to go to Florida with him too, and you didn't want to go.
Yeah, originally no.
The least he could do would be join you, and you had to pay for his plane ticket as well.
Yes. So now I'm stuck in like because I asked Alex. I was like, "Alex, can you come?" And Alex is like, "There's no in hell."
Yeah, I was too busy because I was doing all my lifeguarding stuff, and I was going to Wisconsin. Yeah.
There's no way you would have been able to even like
get
down here probably in time.
It would have been such a mess.
So then I'm like, okay, who do I ask? And I'm like, because my mom's like now bitching at me that we're
don't say names. I know you want to say the name. I don't know if we should say names, but just a reminder. Because I feel like you're leading into a part where you're going to spew out names. Just don't.
Just Jack's name. Jack's fine.
Fine. Okay, whatever.
Jack's fine on this.
Yeah. But you could say first names probably, but like refrain from the last names.
So then I'm at the parade with this kid named Jack.
Yeah.
This Evergreen Parade, and I'm like, okay. So I have quite a predicament. My mom's bitching at me saying that I need to get this ticket refunded and I have to deal with it, or I have to find someone else to go.
Yeah.
Because we've already bought all the extra water park passes. We've bought all the extra hotel and lodging. And now my mom's riding my goddamn ass telling me that I'm in the wrong when it's fucking Casey's fault. So
really, yeah.
So I'm like, hey, Jack, how does the trip in Wisconsin, everything paid for, sound?
Yeah.
He's like, that sounds pretty fun, actually. And I'm like, okay, great. So we're acting this way. His parents just let him go.
Dude, I swear that kid's parents just don't give a shit about him anymore.
So then I'm like, okay, that's great. So we get to Minnesota, and I'm like, okay, I'm hungry as fuck. I need Dunkin'. I end up eating a half a dozen of Dunkin' Donuts. And now I'm just feeling this game gets into the part of how much weight I've gained during all this. And so let's just say I start with three Dunkin' Donuts, and then we land in La Crosse, which is Wisconsin, and I get McDonald's. 2 Egg McMuffins on top.
I know exactly. Is that the McDonald's that's on that like strip of fast food restaurants? There's like a Starbucks and shit. Because I know exactly what McDonald's you're probably talking about in La Crosse.
Yep.
I just wanted to say that because every time I go by that McDonald's, I'm like, hey, I remember that place.
So then I get McDonald's.
Okay.
So now we land, and I've eaten, and we've landed and everything. We get our bags, and now I'm like, okay, Mom, where are we going now? She's like, we're going right to the Dells. I'm like, oh fuck, another more driving. So on our way driving, and I see a sign for Rocky Rococo is.
Ooh,
best pizza place ever. And there's something called a super slice, which is like 2.5 slices of pizza. But I'm like, I can eat 2 super slices and some breadsticks.
Right after you've already had McDonald's?
This is probably 4 hours into the
Okay, so it's been a decent amount of time.
But now I just start. I'm like ordering all this fucking shit, and I get this pizza, and one pizza is like that big. I'm like, oh shit.
Here, let me. Rocky.
And so I'm like, oh, this ain't good. This ain't real. This ain't good at all. So then I force feed myself to eat all this food.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm literally fat as fuck. I'm not feeling good at all right now. So we get to the Dells finally after all this, and well, Jack meets my grandma. My grandma's good.
That's just looking at that pizza. That is a shit ton of fucking pizza.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I like literally ordered way too damn much, and we got to the Dells, and well, I didn't know that we were gonna have 25 people of my family there.
25?
Yes.
Holy shit.
So there's my grandma that has dementia, my grandpa,
The cast of characters.
the cast of characters, my uncle, which is the biggest dick in the world, Uncle Lyle.
Okay.
Fine.
Yep.
I said his name. And he ended up not bringing his girls. Bought a Tesla, $80,000 Tesla. Let's be honest. Then I'll get in the story in a little bit.
Is that like the nicest one? That like big SUV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Aunt Kelly. There is her two boys. Then her two boys, one of them brought a girlfriend.
Ooh.
And then my other uncle named Doug, he brought two of his kids. And then Doug invited one of his friends, which was Fred, which is our family's investor.
Just a family investor.
He brought his 4 kids and his wife.
Holy shit.
And then this is not even that's what. Then my other uncle Andy's there. And Sheila's there.
You have so many fucking family members. That's crazy.
And so then we only have 3 cabins. Like usually 3 big ass cabins are enough. But now we have 0 room whatsoever. We have, and so in each cabin there's one set of 2 twin beds. One set of so on the big cabin there's one set of 2 twin beds. We only had 1 giant cabin. 1 queen bed, 1 king bedroom, and then a pull-out couch. And that was all taken by Fred's kids and that family.
What?
So then, he like goes ahead and takes it. So then we have 2 small ass little things, and I end up having to sharing a bed with Jack. And
how was it, a queen or?
It was a king, but
you stop complaining, Steiner.
I know. So then we're sharing a bed, and it's getting really weird because my parents, my mom, she got so trashed that night it wasn't even funny. And everyone just rocked. We go down, we see like 3 freaking whole bottles of tequila, and by the end of the night they're like half full. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. That's Wisconsin for you though.
And then my mom, she like wanders over to the other Fred's villa, falls asleep there, thinking it's her room. Yeah, and I wake up in the morning and there's Caroline with no bed, sleeping on the floor. I'm like, we are horrible people.
So everybody just forgot about the little
Caroline.
kid. She just slept on the floor.
I know, and I felt so bad. And Jack was like, "You're a horrible brother," and I'm like, "Yeah, kind of am." So then the next day, this gets real funny. Then Atlee shows up, which is one of my funny cousins, and
one of the favorites.
We're all talking, and we ended up deciding, we're gonna go to Kalahari, which is a water park in the Dells.
Yeah.
And we end up going, and so Fred, he's an investor guy, and we get there, and I'm like, my mom gives me and Jack money to buy the cabana, or not the cabana, the locker. And we end up not needing to even buy a locker because I got this call by Fred, and he's like, we have 2 extra tickets. Would you guys like to have our tickets? And I'm like, we already have tickets. We've already pre-bought tickets. And so I'm like, no, we don't need them. And he's like, that's fine. Just come over to Cabana, 420.
So you're out there just screaming, Cabana 420.
So we walk out there. I'm like, where the fuck's Cabana 420? Get out there. We're walking around. It's at the very end. Just deluxe ass fucking cabana with 3 televisions in the damn thing. A mini fridge, a safe. And I look on the
safe.
Yeah. I look in the fucking drawer, and there's a receipt, and it's $425 for the day.
What? That's so much.
This guy just pissed $425 away. at a
On a
cabana
fucking cabana?
that
What?
we didn't
What?
use for more than 25 minutes
What? Oh my gosh.
because we wanted to do all the
That's
water rides.
crazy.
And so that's like step one. I'm like, this guy is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And so we get going, and he likes to schmooze my grandma. So they all like to feed my grandma like all this wine to the point where she can barely walk.
Is that the one with dementia?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. What? So they're feeding some old lady with dementia fuck tons of wine?
And so my mom, we're all gonna go to like shopping district tonight. And we all get there. And my mom runs out to Kay and she's like, here's a roadie.
What? A roadie?
Yeah, it's a glass of wine for the road.
Okay. Oh.
So now
I should have been able to figure that out.
Now she's drunk and obnoxious. And she can't remember Jack's name. And she's like, fella, what's your name again? And I'm like, Grandma, it's Jack. And she's like jackass.
I really wish I was there. Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, oh shit, I'm fucked. I'm like, sorry.
Jackass.
And then my grandpa's like, so I heard you're on the golf team. Are you any good? And Jack's like, I'm okay. I'm like, no, I am not on varsity yet. And he's like, well, you must not be that good. So now my grandpa's acting like an asshole.
Oh my God.
And then I'm talking to Lyle, and now it's dinner time. We've just gotten back from the shopping place, and we're eating, and I look at these like brats, and these brats are like burn as can be. Like they're literally all black.
Oh my God.
And I take one, and I'm like cutting it, so I'm not eating just charcoal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish someone knew how to cook burgers, and I didn't know Lyle made them. And Lyle's like, there's so many kids in Africa. You try to cook. I'm the best cook there is. And he gets all offended. But then we go outside because it's the only place. And guess who I have to sit next to? Lyle.
Oh my God.
So now Jack plops down by me. And, now we're in big doo-doo because Allie comes out. And Allie's now quizzing me on my mom's new car. And Lyle's like, your mom's kind of a fucking idiot for buying a $41,000 new car.
That's not even that expensive.
And then he's like, yeah, especially when she could have gone electric. And I'm like, what car do you have? He's like, I got the new Tesla. I'm like, how much was that? He's like, with upgrades and all that, 79, 80 grand.
What does he do again for work?
He's a pathogenologist. People that find like they do like medical shit with
like disease.
Pathologist, yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
So literally, we had 4 doctors, 2 surgeons.
Holy shit! I cannot imagine getting like 4 doctors, 2 surgeons, and a pathologist like fucking together.
And a lawyer that is now a lawyer / sports.
Oh my God.
And the lawyer,
way.
He's literally, so he just graduated with his law degree, Atlee. And so he's doing an intern job. He's the head lawyer he's like one of the head property lawyers for Quick Trip.
What? Oh my God.
And he's like, I don't really like the job right now because they only pay me $35 an hour when I'm off shift. And unless I'm actually talking to clients, I don't get big money. I'm like, 35
paid $35 an hour for doing nothing?
That's what I said. I'm like,
what?
You're complaining for getting $35 an hour and doing nothing. I'm like,
oh my God. I just like to say that like getting that many type A people together must have been like fucking fireworks whenever there was an argument. Like that must be crazy. I can't imagine. That's like a TV show.
And then I got Auden, which is the new student, and he's going to residency as a neurosurgeon.
No way. Oh my God.
And so Andy's like, I gotta head back because we got a split femur, a jointal, just says all this like fancy ass medical shit. And Auden's like, is that gonna need a double or triple stitch? And then are you gonna latex that with? And he's just like saying all this gibberish shit, and I'm all like, what the fuck is going on?
What the hell?
And I stare at Jack, and I'm like, well, little interesting, right? But a lot of them are all drunk though, so that's where it gets good. So then we get going, and it's well, we get the next day we go to Mount Olympus.
Ooh, yeah, that's the water park in the Dells, right? Or the
Yeah, and
amusement park.
amusement. Yep. And so they
Yep.
got 6 different go karts, but there's this one track where, so the go karts are all these like gas ones, and they don't go probably more than 9 miles an hour,
Yeah.
which is still pretty fast. But there's this one part where it goes like this, and it directly goes into a turn. So it's like this, and directly goes into a turn.
Ooh.
And so the thing is, Jack was going full speed. I got one around him, and I just whacked him. Like I took short, he took long, and I whacked him. He got his head literally whipped back. His whole hat came off. He lost everything. They had to stop the go-kart, and then everyone else started hitting, and then there's this hill that goes right after the downhill. And so he crashed, and I crashed because I hit into the barrier because I hit him too hard. So then I got whacked by some Mexican kid. And then this fat black lady thinks she can just come right through. She plowed right in. I swear I got whiplash from that lady.
Holy shit.
And now everyone, we can't get out of this thing because we're parallel. These 2 other people are parallel. We got one guy here, and we got 2 things, and then we're on this angle that no one can get out of.
That's like an actual 7-car pileup.
Yeah, no, everyone that was on the go-kart track was in the pileup.
Because you 2 fucking idiots were fucking racing.
And so then my cousin gets out, starts pushing the shit, and he gets ejected from the go-kart track. And I didn't get ejected, I just gave whiplash to some kid.
Oh my god. I'd love to see that footage.
So then then it gets better because we go to the next go-kart track, and there's this like black kid, and he was like this little bitch that kept tapping me, and I just rammed as hard as I could, and he hit the wall so damn hard the freaking wheel got off the freaking tire on the go-kart. Hit it so hard, and the kid whacked his head so much he had like blood dripping from his nose.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
He was just crying.
Oh my god, you're just out here slaying.
So then they're like, I heard them on the radio, they're like the kid in the gray hat or like the brown hat. So then I took my hat off and hid it under my shirt, and they never talked to me. And I got back and I just started booking, and this kid's crying to his father. And I look at the father, and this father's 6'3", 6'4".
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, there ain't no way in hell I'm gonna live this. I just booked it. I'm like, I'm done. No more go-karts. Yeah. But then that one all went good. And then the next day, it's the end of the trip with my mom's side of the family. So then we go to my dad's side.
Yeah.
Which are all lawyers.
Oh my gosh, another group of type A's. Shit.
I know. So then we get there. And, my grandpa's like, here's the house tour. And so my grandpa has a lot of money, but he always tries to make it seem like he doesn't, but then he, like, loves to show it. It's very weird.
That is weird.
He's like, this is a small little house, but the thing's literally probably bigger than our house that we live in right now. And there's, like, 2 people living there. It's, like, this all stonework house on the side of a bluff side, and the highest bluff in Wisconsin.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just an absolute mansion. And he gets done. He's like, oh, this is just the priceless art we have. The collection. Some of these range back from the early 1800s. And so now my grandpa's just spewing about the art. But he's like, oh, the rest of this house, it's nothing special. Oh, we also have a sauna.
A sauna?
In the house. They have like an actual sauna in the house.
Oh my gosh.
And so now Jack's like, what the fuck, your parents? This is the weirdest trip I've ever been on. So then my dad's like, okay, this is not that fun. We got to go out. Let's go bowling. We go bowling, and everything happens normal bowling, usually.
Yeah.
We get back, and I see a fireworks stand. I'm like, Dad, that's my fireworks. He's like, sure. He's $90. You got $90 for fireworks. Well, I saw this thing, and it was 250 bottle rockets, which are cheap for $20. So I'm like,
I think I know what you're talking about because we got a pack that was I think it was 250.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's cheap. I'm gonna buy them. And then I bought a bunch of the big ass shells.
Ooh.
And then but then we got home, and I like doing Russian roulette.
I saw that on your Snapchat. I was like, oh my God, I'm like, I can't imagine doing that because my cousin's also a lawyer, and then his dad is a radiologist. So he's like, he was brought up super type A, and he will fucking tell you. So if me and Riley like went out there and just lit a bunch of bottle rockets and threw them into the middle of the driveway and started running around, we would get our fucking asses handed to us.
So we were just chucking them up in the air, and then I got to one point. I'm like, okay, let's put 4 of them in a glass bottle and see if we can blow the glass bottle. We blow the glass bottle up. I don't know what I was thinking.
How did you not get yelled at by a group of like lawyers?
So then this is where it gets good. Then we got my little cousin arrives, and we run inside, and we're like, okay, this ain't good. So we get out there, and they're all inside talking. We're like, oh, we can go back out now. So we start shooting them off at this telephone pole.
Yeah.
The neighbor's house. One ricocheted and went into the neighbor's yard.
What?
And the neighbors called the cops, thinking they were gunshots. So now we just see 3 police going by.
Oh, because it's not even the 4th of July when you went. It was like a week and a half before 4th of July.
And it's daytime.
Of course they would think it's gunshots.
So now there's like 3 freaking police officers going down. We just run it inside. We get all the fireworks, book it inside. And then Jack is this police call thingy. And we hear that they're looking for fireworks. They all leave. We get back out there. We're like, oh, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
So
then we put 6 of them. We get 6 of them going. We start throwing them up in the air. And Jack, my little cousin, comes out, and he almost gets hit by one in the face. And it went by his ear, and he like lost his hearing for a little bit. And
what?
He went in and told my grandma. My grandma can't. She's like, "This is unacceptable. You can't do this. You need to act like mature. You're so irresponsible. So when your dad gets home, She just went off on us. And then we keep watching him. I'm like, she's a bitch anyway. She's a bitchy grandma. So then I hear my grandpa come on. I'm like, oh shit. And my grandpa's like, so what happened with the Jack thing? And I'm like, oh well, firework kind of went off, but it didn't even get close to him. I was just overreacting. And he's like, oh, that's cool. How are they working out here?
Oh my God, that
So now I'm just shooting him, and he's like, "Oh, that's pretty funny." So then I threw one in the air, and it landed on the ground, almost hit him, and he's like, "That's funny. These things are funny."
What?
My grandpa's like, "You two have fun. I'm gonna go back and watch my golf."
What a chill dude! Oh
so
my
now
God,
my grandpa's just chill with everything. We're just chucking him on the roof now, seeing how ricochet we can get off the roof.
You are actually like, I couldn't like my uncle wasn't there, like, thankfully, because he's the fucking craziest guy. He'll tell you like any little thing you're doing wrong, he'll fucking let you know. And like, there's no way we would even be able to light a Roman candle and hold it, let alone like grab like bottle rockets and start throwing them everywhere.
So there's a way on the bottle rockets, if you can actually take them, you can break the stick. And if you make the stick into like a circle, my dad actually taught us this trick. And it comes out and he's like, this is what we used to do as kids. And it's the suicide one. So it literally spins itself around, and then they shoot out when it gets going. So it literally does like 360 until it goes into like directly out. And my dad literally taught us this, and it literally almost got the rental car on fire. And my dad's all like, yeah, you guys just have fun. Don't kill yourself.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
So now I'm like just there. And then my dad the next morning, my dad's like, well, I really don't feel like driving. You're driving us to the golf, Steiner. And this Nissan Altima, which I'm not even legally allowed to even drive a fucking rental car.
Yeah, really? Is that actually a rule?
You have to be like 21 or older to even rent one.
But like, what about drive it?
I don't think you can, because the insurance doesn't cover you. It covers your dad. My dad.
Oh my gosh.
So my dad just letting me go. My dad's like, oh, let's see how fast we can get this thing going. So my dad's just letting me go down this road, and I'm getting the thing just charged. And then we get downtown, and I'm like all nervous because it's all one ways only.
Yeah.
And roundabouts. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I can't do this. But I've never driven in Wisconsin before.
Yeah, those roads are a little fucky sometimes.
And so my dad's like, oh, it's all good. But he's like, take a right. And I take a left, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm horrible. I can't. I don't know which way is right and left. So then we get going, and Jack's all like, "You're a horrible driver. You're gonna kill me. You're a horrible driver." Well, I mean, he was making a big deal, but I don't know why he was making a big deal because we were with my mom's side of the family when we were in Wisconsin. We went to this mini golf place, but then he didn't know how he got there, so he had me drive him back.
Who?
Jack did.
What?
My mom let us take the car because she was drunk one night.
So you were just what?
She gave Jack the car keys because Jack has his license.
So you two just went off mini golfing?
Yeah, and then the problem is Jack didn't know how he got there, and both of our phones were dead. And I kind of know the roads, and so he's like, "You're driving us back."
Oh my god!
So now I'm driving back illegally.
Why couldn't you just give him directions?
Because he was like, "I'm not driving." He was refusing to drive. So now I'm driving freaking illegally. Like if I got pulled over now, that would not. And I was probably speeding half the time I was going.
Yeah, speaking of illegally driving, there was one point when we were driving out, and I was in. I still have my permit, and I was in the Jeep with Ethan. You're supposed to have your parent, but my dad wasn't in, so it was my mom and dad and my sister were all in like the Suburban, and me and Ethan and Riley were all in the Jeep. And there was like this part where there was like this exit to the right, and then there were 2 lanes, and we were caravanning in the left lanes. I was behind my mom. And then all of a sudden she goes over to the right lane, over into the exit, and then goes through the exit. And the thing is that this is us. And then there was a semi like right behind me, but still to my right. So in order for me to follow my mom over to that exit, I'd have to cut off a semi and then barely like scrape over the dashed white lines. Like I'd barely be able to make it. So my mom just veers over to this exit, and I'm driving straight on the highway. So that it's literally just my mom just starts driving away on the exit. So now it's just me alone, illegally driving through Wisconsin. We had no way to go. We're nowhere to go. And I was like, fuck no, god damn it. And then Ethan was like, okay, I'll just pull up the navigation. And he had to pull up the navigation. And then he was like, he pulled it up, and then he just gave me the phone. He was like, here, use the navigation. And then he just went back onto his phone watching YouTube. So now I'm like sitting here looking at my phone, and I'm like, fuck me, am I going the right way? And then at one point there was like this exit, and I was like, Jesus Christ, am I going the right way? I don't know. I'm like, I'm so stressed out. And then I was like, I managed to get back on the highway and then catch up with them. But that was so fucking stressful.
See, with me, it's like, I don't know, like the driving thing, like, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I just like slam on my brakes, merge into lanes.
Yeah.
Quickly. Like I drive the thing like a goddamn NASCAR driver.
I kept cutting people off because I was trying to follow my mom. So there'd be like somebody to my right, and I'd be following my mom. And then she would they'd be on the right lane, and then there were like 2 lanes, and then she would go around them like straight forward and then back in. And then I would do the same thing, except I get extremely close to the car behind me. So I had to like cut off. Like I probably merged in like a foot away from a person like 5 times on the way home. And I drove like 6 hours on the way home from Wisconsin with a fucking learner's permit.
Jesus Christ. Oh, so then the car I was in a Nissan Altima. And
yeah.
So the thing's small as hell. And I'm like,
yeah.
I get in the thing, and I'm like thinking, I'm like, oh, shit, I wonder if I could like pull a police what do you call them, like
the pit maneuver?
Pit maneuver, yeah, because I was doing that at the go-kart track. So now I'm just like,
wait, you're pit maneuvering cars on a fucking road? What?
No. So I was thinking about this because I had just done it at the go-kart track. And I'm like, oh, it'd be a dream to be doing this right now. It would be a dream. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm thinking this, because now I'm like getting myself hyped. Like I'm gonna wreck someone, and I'm like, what the fuck am I thinking here, Alex?
Fucking go start pit maneuvering random cars.
I'm gonna kill someone.
We have this shot collar for my dog, and then we were all like sitting at dinner, and then she had it on because like whenever it's kind of nice because it's like it has a remote, and then whenever she runs away, you could like give her like a little buzz or a beep or like zap her, and then she'd like be like, come back over here so she can't run away. And then I kept just like asking my mom, I was like, dude, just zap her, come on, like what's the worst that could happen? And then my cousin was like, "You're fucking psycho." I was like, you know what? I probably am.
Who said that? Was it a male or female?
My lawyer cousin.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I ended up having this one story with Carl. So Carl ended up calling one day when we were going golf. He called up Melissa.
Ooh, yeah.
And so she has him on speaker. And he's like, "Oh my God, I don't know what to do." He starts crying. And he's getting all
crying over what?
The phone. Okay, this is where it gets good though. So he's crying on the phone. We're like, "What's wrong, Carl?" And he's like, "I don't know. My car's getting towed now." We're like, "Your brand new car because you wrecked your old one. How's this one getting towed?" He's like, "Well, I got a flat tire light and I don't know what to do, so I had the car towed."
He had the car towed over
the flat tire light.
What?
I know.
This guy has to be so autistic. What?
So I'm just sitting here with Melissa. And me and my dad just look at each other. We're just start laughing our ass off. And then Melissa, she got so pissed at us that she just got up and left. She's like, "I'm not doing any more golf."
What?
And then she said we were being offensive and rude and all this other shit. But at the end of the day, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen, Alex. Because you won't see anything like it. With him,
getting a car towed over a flat tire. What?
So then we have to drop the golf clubs off because one of my grandpas lended my other grandpa a set for us.
Yeah.
And so we have to go drop them off. My mom's out there with this other guy that I've never met in my life. And he's like, "I remember you when you were a little baby." And I'm like, "I have never met you in my goddamn life." I didn't say it. And I'm like sitting there talking with him. And then I learned, he's like, my mom would be talking and she'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I really think that's a good idea." And he's like, "Oh, fuck, shit. So this guy's got like minor ass Tourette's. And he's going like this. Like he does this one thing that's like, he'll grow over his mouth and he'll just start shaking his mouth rapidly. He's like,
that has to be so alarming. If you don't know what's going on, imagine you're just like sitting on a train or something, like on an airplane, and then all of a sudden the guy next to you just goes.
So that I'm just like, my grandpa, he gives me this look like this. Like, just don't even look. And I'm like this. The whole time I'm looking at this guy, I'm like, interesting. This guy's an amazing specimen. So then we were waiting too long. So my dad comes up, and my dad's talking to my mom's side.
Oh.
So now it's like heads or butt.
Yeah.
And then my grandpa's other friend shows up named Dickie. And Dickie. And Dickie's this really weird guy. He's like, "Oh, how are you?" He sounds like Mickey Mouse.
That's exactly what I imagined a Dickie would sound like. Just fucking Mickey Mouse.
He's got like all these hair patches and he's got like these huge jaws and he's got like all these moles on him. He's like, "Oh my God!" He's like on acid, I swear to God. And he's like, "Oh, you must be Robert, the guy that Mindy left because you suck."
What?
And then he slaps my dad on the back. And he's like, "I'm just kidding. You're probably a really nice guy."
It's like, that sounds like an actual cartoon character. What the fuck?
I know, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And now and there's the guy who's going.
You got the fucking. Okay, so you got minor Tourette's guy, and then you got fucking Mickey.
Yeah. And then his wife's over here, and she's like, "How do I work this iPad?" And I'm like, "What the fuck am I watching here?"
Jesus Christ.
And then Jack, he goes into my other grandma's house, Kay's house, and we get in there. And so she's a huge hoarder. So she's got literally stacks of shit. Like, you can't even walk through the house. There's like minor pathways. And I walked through the house, and I wasn't aware of this. And now they have a cat. I'm like, "Grandma, when did you get the cat?" She's like, "We have a cat?" And my
The
grandpa's
one with
like,
dementia?
yeah. And my grandpa's like, yeah, we got him a little bit ago. We found him. He had kittens, but we don't know where the kittens went. I'm like,
They just fucking left the kittens?
I don't know. They both have like my grandpa's got minor dementia. The other my grandma just doesn't remember we had a cat. They had a cat, so I'm like, so my grandma she goes out to the car, somehow finds the key. She steals my mom's keys to the car because we lended my grandma's car to my mom.
Yeah,
because my grandma's not supposed to be driving, and my grandma starts driving away while this shit's all happening. And I'm like, what the fuck where's she going? We get there, she calls me because she's got this like weird ass phone where it's like 1, 2, or 3, and so you can just hit a button and it'll say like the name you want to call. So she calls the home because it's on like speed dial.
yeah.
On this like old ass Motorola phone, and it starts calling us, and we get this thing, and she's like, I don't know where I am. I'm lost. So now we had to go out there with another car and take her home because she drove to the intersection, outside her driveway, to the stop sign, into the intersection, doesn't know where she's at.
What the fuck?
I'm like, oh my God.
Is she in like assisted living, or is she still living alone?
She's still living with us, like my grandpa. And we're like, what the
What? No way.
And then there's the autistic guy whacking the Tourette's, just whacking his fucking face. Then he did this one thing that was really weird. He like got up and he started like shaking his belly, and he's got this huge ass beer belly, and he's just like slapping his belly. And I'm just like looking at this guy. I'm like, oh my God, I have seen it all, folks.
I mean, are you sure he had Tourette's? He could have just been cracked out.
He was on something because when he like wasn't even having the spasms, he'd go like this.
He definitely was doing. He either has Tourette's and he can't control it, or he was doing fucking crack. It's one of the two.
And then he was like jamming on music. He was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's like, what? And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. So then we got on the airplane back to Colorado, and we get back, and actually we get to Minnesota, and this is where all this shit goes down. The fucking flight that takes us to Minnesota is delayed for 2 hours. So now I got to get back to football the next day by like, I think the practice was 12, and we didn't get in till like 1 in the morning at night. So we drove back, got in at like 3:30. At the time we got everything unpacked and everything. It was horrible. I woke up, slept until like 10, and then I was rushed to practice. I got like 6 or 5 hours of sleep.
Oh my God.
Man,
Jesus Christ.
I was like, well, I kind of wanted to stay a little longer because there was even more amazing specimens like Carl coming.
Oh.
And that would have been absolutely hilarious to see.
Dude, your trip makes my trip look so fucking mellow. It's insane because mine was just relatively uneventful compared to that. I mean, like we lit off fireworks for 4th of July and stuff, and I mean, at one point we were using the bottle rockets as well, and then we had like a couple bottles, and then me, Ethan, and Riley all had lighters. So then we would all get like 5 bottle rockets, and then you had the fuses, and we'd all like wrap the fuses together. And then we'd all like light our lighters at the exact same time and then light our pockets of 5. So at one time we would have like 15 bottle rockets going. And then everybody was eating dinner at the same time. So you're just lighting off like 15 bottle rockets while like our entire family was trying to eat dinner. I mean, at one point we went fishing because we brought our we took our fucking little because we had this little bass boat that we go fishing with everywhere, and we took it all the way out to Wisconsin, so cross country trip, and we were fishing with it. And at one point, we caught like in one trip that was like 2.5 hours ish, we caught 26 bass. Jesus. And at one point, like we all had one bass on a line at the same time, and they were all like pretty small, but just the fact that we caught 26 fish in one session was insane. And I think in total we caught like I guess in total we caught around like 40 45 bass.
Yeah.
which is a pretty good number. But like the largest one we caught was only like 13 and a half inches.
Oh,
So it wasn't
not
it was
big, yeah.
not big, but the quantity was there. And like we would try to go over to like this point because there was like this point on the outside of the bay where there was like this really big rocky drop off, and we kept seeing like giant carp. And last year we went there and we saw a bunch of giant bass, but there was just nothing that we could get there. So honestly, like for me, it was just so uneventful compared to you.
We ended up having like, oh shit, we had like crazier shit happen. Like, there's parts of this vacation like I just forgot the parts because I was like, it was just so nutty. Like I was just
so much shit happening.
Like I've been on more vacations where like my mom got so drunk she like walked outside, didn't even know there was a bear in the dumpster. Looked in the dumpster and there's a bear in the dumpster.
I still don't fucking understand that. How do you just not know there's a bear in a dumpster? Even when you're drunk.
My mom shocks me. And then, man, I'm thinking there was one story that I just remember I was going to tell you. It was so crazy. I had never thought, okay, there's actually a couple stories. I got jacked to the skyscraper, which is like this ride that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that they had. Like,
yeah.
They had kind of fucked up their restraints. And so.
Really?
I mean, they made it so it's like there's no lap belt now. It's just a full-on harness.
It's just like the fucking, oh shit, Steiner's out at 51 minutes. Jesus Christ, maybe he'll join back in, maybe. Is my internet bad? I mean, fuck, I wanted to hear the rest of that story. We'll take a little intermission here. Just like skip ahead, I guess. I can still taste the piss on my lips. Salty. I love to drink piss. It's actually a rather tasty taste that I do enjoy thoroughly every time I indulge. Oh Lord, just allow me to grasp onto a bottle of warm yellow piss. That would really make my night so fucking good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm just going to end this one here. It doesn't look like Steiner's going to be joining back again with us. Thank you all for joining us here. Maybe he'll talk about it another time, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If there's anybody still watching this, that'd be fucking awesome, because this was actually our best episode yet. So, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking end this here. Fucking go check out our other videos. Be sure to like and subscribe. Definitely, and no support us. Go find us on Instagram at Alex and Steiner Show. Go find us at you can find both of our Instagrams in the link in the description below. I will be putting that in there. Thank you all, and
we'll see you in the next